It's like me, and I'm like, well, hey, if we don't do something, it's fine. If you don't fix my industry, I'm going to
She goes, do I need to call Tracy? I said,
All right, it's 10 o'clock. We should get started, but we're waiting for a few more members to show up. Let me tell you what I think we might consider doing today for definitive clarification of what we think may happen today. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bills, one of which was added last night. I intend to get through the first 4 bills, hopefully without too much issues. On the 5th bill, we have an amendment that's been handed to me, and we've got a public hearing that's been called for, which we're going to allow. We have 2 people to discuss at the public hearing. So my intent, I think, today on HB 357 would be to, I know the amendment is new. Not many people have had a chance to look at it. So what I'd like to do is take the amendment and add it to it, have the public hearing, and then carry the bill over to next week. So that way we'll have in front of us what the changes may or may not be, and then we can, all the parties can have a discussion and we can bring it back next week for conclusion. So that's what the intent is there. After we get through that, I want to have a discussion with the committee members about where we are on the budget. And we'll have that short discussion. We're not going to proceed with anything today, but I want to give you some numbers that you need to know about where we're headed possibly, or where we are. I want to draw the edge, if you will, that we're fixing to fall off. And then we'll disperse and call that a day. Any questions on anything like that? So we have, Mr. Chairman. Yes, sir.
I would prefer not to fall off.
I'll tell you that when I get your request.
Oh, you won't get them, Mr. Chairman, until like the day before.
Yeah, we get on the floor, exactly, yeah.
He'll come running in.
Yeah.
Help this, help that.
Delayed is not denied.
Dilatory is a down.
All right, I know we have overlap in a couple of other meetings. Y'all want to wait, or you want me to declare a quorum? All right. Body says that we have a quorum. I'll agree with the body. Call the roll.
Senator Albritton?
Here.
Senator Chambliss? Senator Beasley? Senator Coleman?
Yeah.
Senator Coleman Madison?
She's here too.
Senator Gavan? Senator Jones? Senator Kelly?
Here.
Senator Livingston? Senator Orr?
Here.
Senator Price? Senator Chestnut? Senator Stewart?
Here.
Senator Stutt? Senator Weaver? Here.
Yeah. Call the first bill.
HB 282, Senator Barfoot.
Here, our most illustrious expert for Bitcoin and other technological matters. Tell us about SB 282.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. SB 282 is companion to 483, so that's why you're kind of stuck with me this morning instead of Senator Barfoot. But it is this is a short addition to the list of exemptions for ad valorem. It really codifies exemptions, existing interpretation of the rule that digital assets are not taxable property, but we want to put it in the law to kind of codify that, to give people regulatory confidence and get people outside of our states interested in Alabama and seeing it as a crypto-friendly state. And also anywhere, depending on your district, between 15 and 30% of people own digital assets. So this is a way to represent the people we represent and give them some regulatory certainty in ad valorem taxes on digital assets.
So this is an exemption, a tax exemption on this entity.
Correct.
All right, and there's no taxation occurring on this entity.
Correct. It's
now.
not currently happening. That's the interpretation, but it's a rule. It's not the law, so this would make it the law.
All right, any questions? We have a motion. I'll second. Senator Kelly, second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Bill's given a favorable report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, committee.
Call next bill.
SB 300, Senator Sessions.
Good afternoon, Senator Sessions.
Is it afternoon already, or is it
Seems
still
like it.
morning?
It seems
Has
like
it been that long of a day already?
it has.
Oh, it's not that bad, is it, Mr. Chairman? Glad to be here today. This is kind of a small business piece of legislation, a little extension on some tax relief we had gave to small businesses a few years ago. If y'all remember, we did a business personal privilege property tax exemption at $40,000. This would simply take that existing exemption up to $100,000. The reason in it, we have several small businesses that may be a small bakery or a small restaurant, something like that, and they may have $70,000, $80,000 in ovens. And, you know,
Mr. Chairman, I move favorable. Thank you, Senator.
They're so anxious to hear you. All in favor of a favorable report, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Bill's given a favorable report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee.
Call the next bill, please.
HB 72,
Tell us about your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee. This is a distinctive tag bill for firefighters only, okay? And right now, the fee is $1. And what we're trying to do is raise this up from $1 to $9. And the firefighters really want this.
It's a $9 increase. It'd actually be $10. Is that right?
It will be, yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
Senator, go ahead.
So has this discussion been through the License Plate Oversight Committee?
That is a good question. And we already have the bill. I mean, we already have the tag, so, but no, I'm not sure. No, it has not.
I chair that committee. I was just
Okay.
making sure.
Okay.
So,
Good question, though. Good question.
we had a discussion in Judy today that you don't ask a question you don't already know the answer to. But I think that in the future, I would love to see things like this go through the License Plate Oversight Committee, because I believe that we do a lot of work for the good for things related to this,
Right.
and it might be something related to other tags as well. So I'm not going to hold your bill up today,
thank
but
you.
just wanted to make those comments.
But yeah, thank you. Great comment. But
We have a motion for favorable. We have a second. Senator Coleman Madison.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sorry that I was late, but may I ask a question, please?
Certainly.
And you may have already covered this. I apologize for being late.
Okay.
But the increases were pretty big.
yeah, well,
Talk about that if you haven't already.
yeah, they actually want the increase. It's really going to help them out. Okay, because $1.50 will go to the memorial. Okay,
Yeah.
and then $1.50.
I know the 15.
Yeah, yeah.
That's 35,
Right.
35. I saw how all that was split up.
Right.
But the firefighters are all in support of the monetary amount of the increase.
They are.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We have a motion. We have a second. Any other questions, comments? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Bill's been given a favorable report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee.
Call the next bill.
HB 396, Representative Pascal.
Representative Pascal. Well, I'm glad we're having all these House bills we're coming through today. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Chairman, thank you, committee members. You know, with the House, we always try to work together with everyone. HB 396 is one of the many military bills that we have moving through both chambers. In Alabama, currently, if you're a veteran and you're 100%, you have 100% disability rating, you're exempt from paying property taxes. But however, when you purchase a home, they still calculate your property taxes in your debt-to-income ratio. So what this bill does is just exempt that, may just clarify. If you can show proof you're 100% disabled and you qualify for those exemptions, you do not include it in your debt-to-income ratio.
So it's not affecting the taxation revenue at all. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
Is trying to make a true indication of what the vet's income and outgo is. Is that a correct statement?
That is correct. And I had the opportunity to work with our Department of Revenue.
Move favorable.
We have a motion. We have a second by several people. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Bill's given a favorable report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members.
All right, let's call the next bill.
HB 357, Representative Hollis.
Is Representative Hollis here? I don't know what happened, Representative Hollis, but somehow you got a lot uglier.
Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think this bill is one that we had last year. It didn't advance. It's about a new category of products. It's like a heat not burn technology for cigarettes. I think we had a dinner last year with some of the members where they showed the example. And although I am not a fan of tobacco products or smoking or vaping at all, it is a less harmful alternative. And I think it presents a substitute for smoking. It's not for people to try as a new product. It's just for those that are trying to convert from smoking to another product. It does have an excise tax or sin tax. That's been worked out with the Department of Revenue. It's about 50% of the combustible cigarette rate. It is, again, a product that's been on the market for a while as far as European model. But anyway, I'll be glad to have an expert from the company if they have any questions that can talk about it. It's, like I say, a new product that if it's going to be here as an alternative that we need to have at least a discussion and look at. And I know there's a public hearing today about this product, but there's also some experts with the company that are available for any questioning.
All right. First off, in discussions that we had prior to coming in, an amendment was handed to me as I came in. You're familiar with the amendment?
Yes.
All right. The amendment's one that is, I don't know if we have copies for everyone.
We do, but we just got the bill. We
Yeah.
just got the bill. This is the bill. When they handed me the amendment, I thought it was the bill. And so I just got it as we sat down. I haven't had time to read either.
I understand. Now, here's what my suggestion would be.
I know you made that very
Yeah, to try to put the amendment on so that we can have what the legislation is proposed to be, carry it over, and deal with it next week. I'd like to get the amendment on so that we would at least have the one piece of legislation there, is where I'm headed with that. Do y'all have any objections to that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll, at this point, I'll move for an adoption of this 3-page amendment.
Can someone explain what the amendment does?
Certainly, it's definitions. It's primarily going in and discussing and defining particular products that are being proposed, giving greater clarity as to what they're dealing with there. And the purpose of this is so that we can keep the separation between the master agreement that was done with the cigarette taxes and things that were going on and the funds that come in from that, so that there's no disruption involved with that at all.
Okay.
All right, that's what the purpose of the amendment is.
Mr. President, I move that we adopt the amendment.
In that case, I'll second it. All on the amendment, approve the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, we'll have the amendment. Now we're on the bill, and we'll open up to the public hearing now, if that's all right. First individual is Ashley Lylerly. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, I did all right, huh? And you're with the American Lung Association, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's do 3 minutes each, okay? All right.
Thank you, and apologies for being out of breath, running up from downstairs. So, good morning, Chair, Vice
Nice
Chair,
example
members of
for
the
the
committee.
American Lung Society, yeah.
I'm sorry?
Nothing.
I know, right, but right? So, unfortunately, the American Lung Association is opposed to the bill in its current form. We strongly advocate for heated tobacco products to be taxed at the same rate as cigarettes to ensure that the products are unattainable to youth and young adults. Heated tobacco products, which you can see here, are the latest attempt by the tobacco industry to addict kids to nicotine. They are operated by inserting a tobacco stick, which I have here, which looks like a mini cigarette, into the device that is heated to create an inhalable substance that contains nicotine and other harmful chemicals. Philip Morris International, who is pushing this legislation, offers the most well-known brands of these products and has taken over the global market, sold in approximately 70 countries, and has far past its competitor tobacco and nicotine products in sales, similar to what we've experienced in the e-cigarette market and e-cigarette epidemic. These products were test marketed in certain cities like Atlanta, Charlotte, and Richmond at boutique-like stores in previous years. And most recently, they have continued these same marketing concepts with pop-up shops and lounges in Austin, Texas, since October of 2024. In the last 2 weeks, PMI has started to sell their product in Austin and is actually offering a 14-day trial of the product for $40. Who knew you could actually try a tobacco product and then send it back? While it has been noted that they received a modified risk designation from the FDA, it is for the device itself, which I don't have, but the actual heat sticks, but not the actual heat sticks in amber, bronze, and sienna. Philip Morris applied into January of 2024 for the same classification for heat tobacco products, not a modified risk product, for additional flavors of heat sticks in blue menthol and green menthol. The tobacco industry has a track record of instituting promotional price strategies to lower product prices. This legislation will give heated tobacco products a beneficial tax treatment to reduce the price compared to other tobacco products to make them more attainable to consumers. These products, when available in Alabama, will be priced to attract to youth. These heat sticks will be available for about $5.65 compared to what I purchased this pack of mentholated cigarettes for around between $9 and $11. Did you know how attractive menthol products are to youth and young adults? In 2024 Surgeon General's report, it reported that 54.3% of youth smokers ages 12 to 17 reported using menthol cigarettes. It also stated that the tobacco industry has designed, engineered, and marketed menthol cigarettes and other tobacco products that deliver multi-sensory flavor experiences, which increase the likelihood of tobacco initiation, addiction, and sustained use. No tobacco product, including these products, are safe. Tobacco companies claim that they're less harmful than conventional cigarettes, but there is little evidence to demonstrate that they claim, because in the long term, early clinical studies examining the effects of exposure to IQOS emissions found evidence of cell poisoning and inflammation in lung cells, which could lead to lung damage as well as impaired cardiovascular function. In our annual State of Tobacco Control report, Alabama received all Fs. Thank you. If this legislation continues to move forward, we will continue to receive an F for our tobacco tax rate. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Anyone have any questions on the body for Ashley? If not, we'll take we have one added name, a proponent, Mr. Jack Jacobs. We'll take you now, if that's okay.
Pretty good. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, members of the committee. I want to talk a little bit about what this amendment does and then address a little bit. It seems like our company and product was singled out in those remarks, so I just want to address some of the inaccuracies in that testimony so that you can contemplate this decision on this bill. This amendment, there are several variants of this product category. I just want to make it clear.
Jack, what company are you with?
Sorry, Jake Jacobs. I'm the Director of Southeast External Affairs for Philip Morris International. And what this amendment does to the bill, one, I don't want to think about this legislation in terms of a product or a brand. This is to capture a category that many major companies have announced their intent to bring to the United States. As was mentioned, these products were first brought in markets around the world to great success. And there's been billions of dollars in research and development to create a product that is less harmful, that gives smokers an off-ramp to move away from combustible cigarettes. And just addressing a little bit about what this category means and what it does, both the device, the IQOS heating system, as well as 4 variants of heats as it relates to the products our company intends to bring to market, have been granted a modified risk tobacco product authorization. And that means a couple of things. It means that these products were deemed over a 4-year review in millions of pages of submission of scientific data, including scientific studies, independent science and medical studies, and weighing in through public comment of public health experts, was deemed as appropriate for the promotion of public health, and that switching entirely from combustible cigarettes to the IQOS heating system exposes the body to less harmful and potentially harmful constituents. That was estimated to be between 90 and 99% relative to cigarettes in terms of the harm reduction capacity of the toxins and harmful constituents that are present in cigarette smoke. And really the important thing to note there is that we've removed combustion. By heating the product rather than burning it, the smoke isn't created. And when you think about lung disease, COPD, heart disease, and cancers that come from smoking, the smoke is really important to causing that harm, because when you light something on fire, that creates a chemical reaction. So about 7,000 chemicals that aren't just in a tobacco leaf, that aren't in nicotine, are released via combustion when that
30
reaches
seconds.
about 1,200 degrees. I also just want to say to this committee, I speak for myself and others when I say there's nothing more important in my daily role and responsibility at this company than youth access prevention. The idea that a pricing strategy would attract youth is preposterous and untrue. And there is nothing that this company does that would cross over that threshold. In fact, as part of our MRTP, as being an NPM to the Master Settlement Agreement, we undergo
That's time.
ongoing review of that. And so I urge this committee next week to vote in favor of this legislation, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Well, members of the committee, I know that we've passed a lot of, bills relative to limiting vaping. So my question to you is that I'm not quite sure as far as the difference and different elements or carcinogens or whatever that this may contain. Has it been approved, or has it been tested or gone through any type of health testing to make a comparative difference, and so we will know exactly how safe this product is?
Yes, ma'am. And one thing that was noted in a handout that was given in the House was that this product hasn't been on the market long enough to know the long-term health effects. The same would be true.
But hold on, which market? How long has it been on the market?
Globally, about 10 years, a little over 10 years.
You don't think 10 years is enough to get some kind of?
Well, I think it is. I would refute what was given out by another organization in the House and say that not only have we now have 10 years of longitudinal studies in markets like Japan and Italy, but also just from a scientific method standpoint, using predictive analysis based on control groups where there are smokers and you have a group that completely stops and a group that switches to IQOS. And we can measure blood, urine, and saliva samples, and that way you can study the predictive pharmacokinetic effects.
Scientists here, I just, want a short layman's term answer, because, so it's been in the market 10 years in Europe, not here. I can understand you wouldn't have the statistics here, but certainly you would have the statistics of what's going on there. But typically, before a product is put in the market, there's some testing by that company of the effects. So I'd be interested to know, what are your test findings for before it was put in the market?
Sure, so the test findings, and this is part of our submission to the FDA to get that order. And exhaustive studies, and it was that looking at sort of the top, say, 20 carcinogens and things that we know are bad that lead to smoking related disease and death were reduced by between 90 and 99% versus cigarettes. And if you even look at the effect of total cessation, so people that do quit cold turkey it achieves up to 99% of the benefits of total cessation.
Mr. Jacobs, I was wondering if I, and you know, want to get the public hearing moving along, but if could you get some of that information to us before next week?
Absolutely, I'm happy to, and I'll follow up immediately with the committee with several handouts,
Okay.
including a letter from HHS Secretary Dr. Tom Price in support of this bill, and testimony from several, since we are in general fund here, some tax policy groups
Wonderful.
that support this legislation.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
This so you can take a look at the product.
All right, Miss Jane, what's your last name?
Thank you. Jane Adams, and I'm the Government Relations Director for the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network. Tobacco and are designed to be inhaled, yet somehow wouldn't be defined and taxed as cigarettes. This is a dangerous and unnecessary move for one key reason. There is no independent, peer-reviewed research showing that heated tobacco products are any safer than traditional combustible cigarettes. In fact, studies show that these devices still deliver nicotine and toxic chemicals that are harmful to human health. The idea that they are somehow safer is a marketing strategy. It's not a scientific fact. If this legislature passes HB 357, I hope you're all ready for bill after bill after bill to come year after year after year to you, because the tobacco industry will have a green light to return to this body with every new, sleek, high-tech product they develop and ask for a new tax cut or exemption. This is the playbook. They avoid cigarette definitions, avoid cigarette taxes, and make these products more attractive to young people. We are already dealing with the consequences of this strategy. We have a youth vaping epidemic in this country because we failed to act early. We didn't tax or define e-cigarettes the same way we did traditional cigarettes, and the tobacco industry used that loophole to addict a new generation to nicotine. Let's not repeat that mistake. Heated tobacco products contain tobacco. They deliver nicotine and they harm health. They should be taxed and defined as cigarettes in Alabama law, and we'll be pursuing that hopefully in an amendment. Just like every other product that contains and delivers combustible or heated tobacco. Public glass also has rat poison in it, but only half as much. How eager would you be to drink the second glass? Thank you.
Thank you. I think that concludes our public hearing. And at this point, I would entertain a motion to carry over. We have a motion. Second. We have a second. All in favor of carrying over, say aye. Aye. All opposed. Bill's carried over. We'll see this again next week.
Mr. Chairman, I think
Yes.
Ms. Hollis wanted to say one thing here.
Oh, is Representative Hollis here?
And,
Yeah, okay. Come on.
And I get where you're coming from on the rat poison. I get all that comment. But depends on how thirsty I am.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say something and clear up some things. And one of the reasons why I wanted to carry this bill was because I live with a smoker. And this is to help him ease the craving for cigarettes, and we tried it for a weekend, and it helps. The cigarette, the actual, I can't remember what the name of, but small cigarette that goes into the electronics is a third of a cigarette. It's not a whole cigarette, and this is not a vape product. It does not come in fruity flavors. I tried it myself and almost died. So this is for someone that's trying to get off of cigarettes, and then once you buy the product, they ask you if you are a smoker or not. If you're not a smoker, they're not going to sell to you. If you are a smoker, then that is for the health of people, and it's not secondhand smoke, and it doesn't get the tar and everything in your body. So I just wanted to make that known.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Representative Hollis. Appreciate your patience with us. All right, we'll see everyone next bill, I think yesterday. Isn't that correct? Yeah. We received it yesterday, so now we can begin discussions. I want to point out a couple of things. The estimates that we've had, you know, beginning of the session, we have estimates from the LSA and from the executive branch that gives us estimates. The estimates that we had of anticipated revenue for next fiscal year is 3.70 some odd numbers. The amount, if you will, on the back page of the sheet I handed out, you'll notice it says grand total appropriations 3.709. We're spending up to the estimate levels. That's what I'm pointing out. Now, I'll put that in context with I've made requests to get from members changes. So far, the totals that we've got, correct me if I'm wrong here, Ms. Asia, but the total that we've got is approximately just under $72 million. And I know that we don't have all the requests in yet at this point. So if we were to do, now some of these may be doubled. We haven't sifted through all those yet. That's part of the process. But my point is, when we get to this level, we've got to do two choices, or maybe three. One is to ignore the requests. Can't do that. Number two is we have to reduce the expenditures that we've been given, or we have to change the estimates of what we have coming in. I see a shaking of head. Those are the options that we've got. We have done very well in our handling of budgets here in Alabama for a number of years by taking appropriate steps of not spending, as I like to term it, every stinking dime, and trying to hold back some for in case a downturn or estimates don't match up or some other anomaly occurs. We've done pretty well with that. This year is a little different. Now, I'm handing this out and asking you guys and ladies to take a look at where we are, take a look at what your requirements are, and let's have an adult discussion about what we're going to do. Yes, if you'll notice, there's three columns. You have the 25 budget, then you have what the governor recommended, and then you have the House recommendation. We got to make the decisions. Yes, ma'am.
I know we had this discussion last week, and of course, it's hard when you start looking at where do you cut, and obviously that's what we're talking about here.
I'll point out of the number of recommendations or requests that I've had, all of them have been increases.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. And seemed like the only fair way to do it, and I'm just wondering, just as, I guess, practice of seeing what we can do, or what it would look like in yield, if we just looked at maybe across the board to start with maybe 2%, 3%, or 5%, and just look at what it would, because that would not be a severe cut to a lot of agencies or what have you, so you're not hurting them a lot, but it's treating everybody fairly, and then we can see what that money would yield as far as trying to make sure that we don't spend it right down to the last penny. Again, and it's not cutting anybody out. So I would just...
Good idea, and we need to talk about that further. And I will point out, too, that the House has made reductions on this. Medicaid was reduced by $5 million. Mental health was reduced by $5 million. And I think there was a couple of others that had been reduced. And when the governor sent her budget over, she had sent over where several things that had been in last year's were taken out, and some of those have been replaced, and there's controversy over who and what there too. So we've got some decisions to make, and looking at where we are in the cycle, these decisions have got to be made relatively soon. So dilly-dally is not in our vocabulary. So we need to start moving along. How's that little rhyme?
No, actually, I don't use
So anyway, let's start looking at this seriously and figuring out where and what we're going to do so we can get this moving along. Remember, we have to pass the budget. If we don't pass the budget, then we have to be back in special session to pass the budget, and it doesn't get any easier.
But, Mr. Chairman, I really would like for LFO to look at, just run the numbers based on the small percentages, and maybe excluding those agencies that have a huge chunk already cut, rather than further cutting them. But that would give us at least a starting point, a little bit up to maybe like 4%, and just see what it looks like.
I think LSA should be able to handle something like that for us, certainly. Any other comments, questions? Senator.
Mr. Chairman, can you give me an update on the progress of construction of the facility in Elmore County?
I hope to be able to get a tour of that, another tour of that, in the next week or so, but it's progressing very well. We're due to be completed with construction this time next year, and hopefully moving inmates in about this time next year. Now, there's some flexibility as to time frame, but that's where we're looking at as far as the Elmore is concerned. Would you not agree with that? Yeah.
Any construction on the facility in Escambia County?
We've had a little bit of surface work done, but there has not been any earth moving at this point.
Okay. What is the total amount of expenditures on the site in Elmore County as of today?
What was that? 1.086, I think, was the last and best.
1.086?
I think that's what it was.
And what was the estimate when the law was passed?
Yeah. Now you're meddling.
I thought it was taxpayers' money.
In 21, when we put this, we were going to build both these prisons for $785 million.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Any other comments, questions? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question about line 253. $1.5 million for the Medical Cannabis Commission. What kind of expenses do they have currently, or for $1.5 million? That's my question. Are they even functioning yet?
Excellent question, Senator.
And I don't know the answer to that. I just thought I would bring that up.
We passed the bill setting it up. It's been hung up in courts since then. And there's been several other legislation that has not passed. So I think that's something we may need to deal with.
So have we been giving them money every year?
Yeah.
Since then? And what have they done with it?
Paying lawyers.
This money shouldn't be hung up.
Paying lawyers. Yeah. Say again?
This money should not be hung up.
Good point.
Wait till they function. Decide what they're going to do. At least let it come out of court, and then we can put the money back. But for next year, we don't even know. It's going to take them a while, even after court, to get this stuff together.
Excellent points. Any other comments, questions? We've had some good ideas and good discussions. I look forward to continuing with this. My door's always open. Whether I'm there or not, it's another matter. But
I know. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize.
yes, ma'am. You have
Just a comment, Mr. Chair. Just on the committee structure, whatever conversations you all have in chairman's meeting, we're now scheduled for meetings every 30 minutes. I mean, and then we got public hearings in all of these meetings. This is a meeting in general fund that I do not like missing. But we had a public hearing in banking and insurance on that farm bill as well. Just some kind of way to where there's a balance so the members have an opportunity to fully engage in their committees, especially when we're talking about issues of this import. Just want to say that. And hope
Senator,
that,
you make an excellent point. Committee work is important. Committee work is where the nuts and bolts should occur. Too often times we allow it to be a, I better hold my commentary to a limited, anyway, your point's well taken. I follow and understand when we get here. I mean, in preparations for the meetings, I've been here since at least by 7. I think I was here before 7 to prepare for these, and it's been all the way through, and all of us are caught in like that. So only thing I can tell you is you paid good money to get this job, and it's not an easy one. You caught that car.
and I did it all. I'm just saying, we used to have standing meeting times. We knew every week what time the various committees were going to meet. Now the committee times are changing up, and this, 1 week I might have, I'm going to use ours because I'm in here. It may be 10 o'clock one week. It may be 11 o'clock another week. Just, something that can happen in the chairman's meeting so we can plan accordingly. And again, I only can speak on the Democratic side. There are so few of us. We're on so many committees. And so, again, I would love to be able to be a full member of all of my committees. And if I had some standing meeting times, this is one woman's appeal, because I don't like missing committees, that we can kind of get back to, we know what day we're going to have a meeting at what time.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Anything else? Senator Stewart?
Are we going to have a bill dealing with the opioid settlements fund out of this committee this year?
I think that's part of the package.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? All right. Thank y'all. We are adjourned. That means we're adjourned. Yeah.